How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. And today we have some pretty big and exciting news. Not that we haven't recently, because the whole MCU right now is pretty exciting, but today we have a report that is stating that Ghost Rider is going to be coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he's going to be entering the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this has huge implications for the MCU, including the formation of the Midnight Suns, a group that I know a lot of people have been waiting for to enter the MCU. And we'll dive into it, but first, please give me a minute to thank Noom for sponsoring this video. Thank you to Noom for sponsoring today's video. Now, I've actually used Noom before they sponsored this video. On my fitness journey on trying to become bigger than The Rock himself, I've run into a few snags, and that's primarily food and losing weight. But Noom has actually been helping me lose weight. In fact, in the first week, I lost a few pounds. And that's because Noom isn't just about what you eat, but it's also about the psychology of how you eat. And that's why Noom is a huge disruptor in the healthcare industry right now, because it uses CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, and psychology for preventative measures. Preventative measures meaning you want to lose weight, but you keep splurging for ice cream at 2 a.m. Noom can help prevent that. Noom works to change your psychology of how you eat and educate you on healthy eating habits. It also offers a food and exercise tracker, a personal goal specialist, and group chat support. And if you want to pay a little extra, they offer meal plans and exercise plans. So take your free 30-second quiz using the link that you see here and in the description down below, and be sure to follow Noom on social media. So today's report about Ghost Rider entering the MCU is coming from that #show.com in an exclusive report. In this report, they state that they can exclusively confirm that Ghost Rider is coming to the MCU. When the rights to the character reverted, Marvel had to decide what to do with the character. So they go on to ask the question, how does Johnny Blaze fit into the MCU? In which they state, I've seen concept art from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that shows Ghost Rider. From what I've seen and heard, it'll be a cameo at best, but considering Multiverse of Madness is exploring the multiverse and will have horror elements, a cameo will fit in with the movie while not distracting too much from the rest of the film. Now, they end the report by stating that Marvel is not going to bring back Gabriel Luna for the role of Ghost Rider, which can be pretty disappointing to some fans, but they also end it by stating that look out for this weekend because they're going to drop even bigger news involving Ghost Rider. So we'll get more information over the weekend, hopefully, but let's talk about what this means and talk about who could play Ghost Rider in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what Ghost Rider being in the MCU actually means for the future. Because I believe that Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is actually the start of something pretty great. First of all, we do know that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is supposed to be some type of Marvel horror film. Now, it's obviously not going to be too over the top. Don't expect it to be rated R because I'm pretty sure it's going to be PG-13. After all, that's why Marvel parted ways with the original director, Scott Derrickson, because he really wanted it to be horror. But Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, stepped in and said that's not what Marvel really is. We can do horror aspects in the film, but it's not going to be a full-out horror film. But with the horror aspects, Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, would be perfect. And I don't want to start with the rumors already, but we all know how Johnny Blaze gets his powers, right? In order to save the life of his father, he agrees to give his soul to Satan, who is later on revealed to be an archdemon, the one and only Mephisto. Like I said, we won't dive into it, but Loki is Mephisto, confirmed. End of story. Goodbye. Now, Multiverse of Madness is obviously going to explore the multiverse, so this Ghost Rider could actually be from a different universe. And the report did state that it is going to be a cameo. But Ghost Rider is a massive character. Marvel isn't just going to bring him into one film to have him cameo for a few seconds or something like that, and then never show him again. And a part of the report does mention that even though Ghost Rider is going to appear in this film and could appear in other films, he could go on to get his own film as well. So clearly Marvel has plans for Ghost Rider, which means he's most likely sticking around in our MCU. Now, the story for him probably isn't going to be that big. It's just a cameo, but perhaps we'll get a tiny bit of an explanation, or maybe he's simply used for the horror aspect of the film. At this point, we don't know. However, Kevin Feige did mention that he has been meeting with Keanu Reeves for each Marvel movie they have coming out. Each Marvel project that they have, they talk to Keanu Reeves and see if there's a part for him. Obviously, they haven't come up with something yet, at least that we know of, but there were rumors before of him possibly playing Ghost Rider, and I think Keanu would be a perfect fit. I know a lot of people really want him to play Wolverine, but he's a little bit too old to play Wolverine. However, the dude is basically Ghost Rider in real life. He's a super cool guy who rides motorcycles all the time. I mean, he actually founded and owns ARC Motorcycles. If you're looking for a bad A guy that rides a motorcycle and has a skull on fire, Keanu Reeves could be the perfect fit for this character. But that's my personal opinion. Who do you think would play a very good Ghost Rider? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, one of the biggest things for me about Ghost Rider entering the MCU is the formation of the Midnight Suns. It looks like Marvel is sort of planning their own little monsterverse inside of the MCU, and no, I'm not talking about like Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm talking like actual monsters and vampires, the kind that Blade hunts down and kills. Marvel has announced a Blade project coming in probably in Marvel's Phase 5, while at the same time we have Moon Knight coming, and then we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is going to be introducing some demons into the MCU, and it looks like Ghost Rider. And right there we already have 4 members of the Midnight Suns. We have Doctor Strange, Blade, Ghost Rider, and Moon Knight. And if they introduce Elsa Bloodstone in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which they are rumored to do, she can be a part of the Midnight Suns as well. And the introduction of this group could be very necessary because of the Darkhold, the book that was introduced in WandaVision. The Midnight Suns have a pretty big history with the Darkhold and its pages. And guess what's going to be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? The Darkhold. At the end of WandaVision, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the finale yet, Wanda has the Darkhold, and she's learning from it, and it looks like she's become pretty powerful. And we know that she's going to be a main character in Multiverse of Madness, which means the Darkhold is going to be in the film and could play a prominent part. In fact, it could be responsible for unleashing some unspeakable evil that is mentioned to be in the film, and especially if it gets into Mordo's hands, who is confirmed to be returning, it's going to be doing some damage. In fact, right now we're kind of unsure of how the multiverse really got thrown into Madness. It appears that the multiverse is going to be kind of broken before we actually get into Doctor Strange 2 because of Spider-Man No Way Home. We're going to see the multiverse in that movie, so clearly the effects aren't coming directly from the events in Doctor Strange. The blip, or the snap, could have been what caused the multiverse to kind of start to tear. That combined with some pretty powerful magic that can alter reality could definitely send the universe spiraling into madness. And it's probably not all going to be fixed in Doctor Strange. Maybe a huge world-shattering threat could be fixed in the film, but there are probably going to be other threats that are still out there in the universe, which are going to have to be taken care of. Enter the Midnight Suns, the team that comes in and does the dirty work, taking out demons, taking out vampires, monsters. Hopefully we have Keanu Reeves on a motorcycle with his skull on fire. But regardless, I am definitely excited for the introduction of Ghost Rider and the start of the Midnight Suns. We're getting a lot closer with Blade and Moon Knight, and then we're going to be getting Ghost Rider and Multiverse of Madness. So be sure to let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, and let me know who you think would play a good Ghost Rider. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest MCU news, and so you can enter my Stormbreaker giveaway, details in the description down below. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.